No, it's crazy though. Like I said, real full circle moment from when we had originally like briefly connected when So Much Fun came out back in what was it, summer 2019?
Summer 2019 with the Cartier Gucci Scarf record.
Yeah, that was a crazy one. That's still one of the craziest, like turned up, catchiest songs that have come out in the past couple of years, in my opinion.
I was ready for that. I was ready for that song to drop. I mean, I wasn't even gonna lie. I remember like it was yesterday when man, it was just crazy because I recall like I was going to South by Southwest went to South by Southwest that year for in Austin and everything with my people with my Lighthouse group, and we all was just kind of like networking and everything. At this time, everybody was still like everybody was still back in Atlanta. They were still putting in the work. So, man, for some odd reason, man, something just told me, man, by the time you get back to Atlanta, man, something just gonna hit you. I ain't knew what it was. So like at this time, I was one of the 3 engineers at the time that was recording Thug. Now I end up sliding beats onto his hard drive before I had left, and by the time I got back, somebody was like, "Yo, you got one with Slime." I was like, "Huh?" I was like, "Yo, you got one with Slime. That bit hard." I'm like trying to figure out, what the song is. Like, I'm trying to figure out how this sounds. So there was like there was one once it was like one of nights. I think I had to record Slime tonight. No, I wasn't on the schedule. Slime ended up coming up to the studio. I ended up coming up to the studio late, but Slime and everybody ended up being there before me. And like somebody told me Slime wanted me to come in the room. So I ended up going up to the room where Slime was recording there. Came up in there. Slime said, "You did this record." And played it. First thing I heard was 48 kilohertz. I said, yes. I said, damn.
The tag
was crazy. I was just like, no, please don't. I said, bro, please don't be Thug on the record. Then this thing happened. Oh, Thug. Okay. That's one. All right.
That's crazy too, because you could have your tag on a song, but on that song, like the tag is on the song. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure, the tag is on the song. But the thing about it is, what people don't even know is like, okay, like that definitely was a team record. But the thing about it was Prezzley. It was only Prezzley and Jay Rich that did the beat. I only came through as, I came through as like, as like the playmaker would be in the engineer. Yeah. Because at this time we was still we was getting in, just really just like anywhere that I was engineering at, I was making sure that I make sure at least the 48 hertz got to get the placement.
Gotta get the play. Yeah, gotta get played. Gotta get the placement.
Yeah, like everybody mostly in the 48 hertz group got a special talent. And it's like from there, we kind of just use it, and then we be able to maneuver with each other from there.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, but we're gonna get into all of it for sure. But we appreciate you stopping by. The big goat, Mattazik Muzik in the building.
Yes, sir.
Make sure everybody, the producer room, powered by producer culture. Make sure everybody like, comment, subscribe. Who you want to see next? I know this is going to be a rare one that some people have been dying for the interview like this, and they're going to get what they're finally waiting for. Other people are going to be like, damn, they came with this one. That's crazy. But I'm super excited. Like I said, the big goat, Mattazik Muzik in the building. What's going on, my guy?
My Matt Taz, you already know what the fuck going on. If you don't know what the fuck going on, you need to find out what the fuck going on. You can't find out what the fuck going on, you need to ask your neighbor, ask somebody, see if they know what the fuck going on. And if they don't know what the fuck going on, then I'm sorry. You just don't know what the fuck going on, man.
See, I'll put you like this. If you don't know what's going on with what he's got going on, you are so far out the loop that you either got to make sure you figure it all out and start lying and acting like you know what he's got going on, or I want to start thinking about doing something else. But no, we appreciate.
I mean, it's overall, you better catch up or you're gonna be mustard at the end of the day. That's all I see it as.
So, like he said, but no, I definitely want to. I want to take it all the way back and kind of hear about how everything first started. But I think that's such an interesting point that you just touched on that we gotta jump into that a little bit. What are your thoughts on like being credited for the placement, even if you didn't touch the beat or whatever, like you kind of just said happened with the So Much Fun thing? I personally think, especially if expectations are managed and conversations are had ahead of time, shit, making that play is more important than the beat itself in the first place. But what do you kind of think about that? Like, okay, I'm going to get credit for this, not because I made the beat, but because I made the play. What do you think about that?
I don't really be big on it. I really be big, like, I guess when it come down to like, I guess whoever I'm doing the play for, I just feel like I just feel like it just come to them at the end of the day. It's like, I don't really be big on like, I don't really big on just really just hesitate or just really just like getting that knowledge or just telling people like, yeah, I did that shit. I did that and everything else. I don't know if they probably would tell you, but yeah, I did it. No, I don't really be on it like that. I really just be like, I just really be glad that the plays successfully be made. And at least at the end of the day, like if they end, like whoever I did it for, if they being grateful to, just thank me and credit me for the play, I'm grateful for it. But other than that, I'm just be happy that, at least got down just to be able to let, just really overall just let the work happen for real. Sometimes I ain't gonna be like, sometimes it's probably like certain beats or certain stuff I ain't gonna be able to have for the artist. And it's like, I gotta be able to have somebody assist me so I could be able to assist them back at least.
Yeah, and that's definitely a fact. And I also want to say too, it's great that you're saying it, but I got cold hard facts to back it up, which is Flex was talking about how he got to make an appearance on his collab track with Time As in Forever Rolling 2040 on the Baby Durk project. Mm-hmm. And he was saying that he sent you the beat ends up getting placed or however it ends up happening, but you have a hand in making sure it gets to the finish line place, whatever. And Flex is just like, bro, thank you so much for making it happen. Like, and you go, bro, you don't got to thank me. The beat's hard. I'm just doing my job. And that's the craziest thing.
I'm for real. I mean, that just me overall. Like a lot of people really, I mean, like a lot of time, like I really get like, bro, a lot of people be telling me that, yo, you need to get more credit for what you do. I'm like, shit, most of the half the time, I just like to do it just because this is something I love to do at the end of the day. Like from Danny, from Flex to Forever Rolling to 48 Hertz to Chi Section 8, it's the whole community, but it's the ones that like I know for sure that like it's only a handful that has the same work ethic as me, or at the end of the day we know how we all work together so we could be able to make sure that we could be able to be at the same goal at the end of the day. So mostly like most of these producers, these are producers I actually interact with every day outside of music. Yeah. So it's like it gets to the point where it's like when it comes down to inside of music, we could be able to like work and be able to know what we need to do right then and there instead of just being around the bushes and being questioned about what type of work we need to put out. So it's like at the end of the day, like so it's like everybody got their role, and I'm gonna play my role at the end of the day and let them know what is needed to be done.
No, most definitely. Yeah, it's crazy. It's definitely crazy to just watch, and I'm extremely grateful and blessed that I've gotten to work with every name that you just said in some capacity, whether more directly and hands-on or just kind of from the outside looking in. But it's been amazing to see a lot of the stuff that you've had a part of, whether it's, like I said, a Flex, a Roland, a Chi, a Section 8, 48 Hertz as a whole. Salute to my man Prezzley P. But it's crazy to see what it's gotten to. But it doesn't get to that point without the beginning. Baby main engineered too many hit records, etc. But like I said, it doesn't get to this crazy point without the beginning. Like hailing from Alabama, correct me if I'm wrong. How does it kind of all start off for you music wise? I know you actually had a little bit of like an actual like playing instruments background, right?
Right. I actually I started out playing like, playing trumpet. Like my family had like bought me my first trumpet like in like 3rd grade, 4th grade. I started playing the trumpet, started being in the band and everything, and started learning other instruments along the way, all the way up to like high school, going into college. Going into college, I was in this little jazz band, and we ended up like I ended up coming across 2 of my partners. One of them go by the name of Bobby Kennedy, the other ones go by Knuckles. Both I ain't know, but both of them was like producers, and both of them was like making beats and stuff. I ain't know nothing about it until like it was just like one crazy day. I guess I end up like just hanging around and everything, and then this thing happened. They both just put out laptops, and they end up going straight into FL Studio. And I was like, I knew what FL Studio was, like I seen it before, but I did not know like it was actually called FL Studio. That's the thing. So from there, like I ended up like I ended up asking them, yo, what I got to do to give me one of my laptops. So I ended up using my refund. I ended up using my refund check then to go give me a laptop. Even though I could have, I had, got my books and everything I need for school. But I went ahead, got me a laptop, and the first thing I told them was, yo, load me up with FL Studio, load me up with the drums and everything I need. From there on out, I ended up like just trying to perfect the craft of just trying to make beats. And I promise, boy, that shit was just it just learned all along the way, just learning how to make beats. I had a cousin who actually was who was in the studio also. So back home in Mobile, there was this little studio that my cousin going to, and he got like his partner go by the name of Ron G. He was the engineer at the studio. He ended up telling me to come to the studio one night, and I'm coming right along with him. Thing about it was, I ain't let him know that I started learning how to make beats or anything. I was just soaking it up, seeing like, what was the vibe like and everything. So ended up going up in there and everything. Now I met Ron G for the first time, but I didn't know what he was doing. So he ended up recording my cousin, on the track and everything, making the beat on the spot and everything else, put it in on the session. The whole time I was just amazed. I was just like, yo, that's something I need to do. That's something I want to do. Like, I don't know for sure. At the end of the day, like, I know for sure I wanted to make beats. But I was like, bro, just watching him put everything together, I was just like, yo, that's what I want to do. So from there on out, it was, I was talking to G about doing like a little internship. The thing about it was he was a hood, like we was at a hood studio. Now this a hood, we was at a hood studio here. Ain't nothing about internships and none of that. But at the end of the day, because he went to school and he had been through like the whole internship program and kind of like learning like, the do's and don'ts and why, and the do's and don'ts as being an intern. He literally let me intern at the studio, and like I started learning how to engineer off of him. So like every day after I got out of school, I went straight to the studio and started learning how to engineer. Every time when a artist came in, I started learning how to track, and he just come straight in after me and start mixing. And I started learning how to mix and, just kind of like getting the steps of that along the way. Then like over the time, I was like branching off, like, doing, just going to different studios and actually just kind of like say working at them for a little bit, or just for temporary, for the time being, just be able to help, whatever music clients they had going on at the time, until it got to probably like 2015, probably like 2014, 15, I probably got fed up. I don't know what happened, but literally in my mind, I was like, I was fed up because I was like, man, I done everything I could in the city. But it was like at the end of the day, like, what can I get back? What can I get back in return? And there was nothing getting back in return. Like I could have just stayed in the city and kept on doing what I do best. But it was like, shoot, I rather want to get done, go somewhere else and try to do something else. So I end up packing up and end up going to Atlanta. I've been out here since then, and just learning the ropes and and trying to help just trying to hustle my way up to the top at the end of the day. So like I said, I started doing like beat battles and everything, just trying to get my name rolling. And by the time I ended up coming across this 5-time Grammy nominated engineer, Jeremiah Atkins, and he was doing like engineering work for like Lecrae and stuff. Like he was doing Lecrae and them. So at first I didn't know who Lecrae was, and I had to do research and everything. And I was like, whoa, this guy's amazing. Okay. So now I knew who Lecrae was, but then that's what happened. I knew what a 5-time Grammy engineer was too. So at the end of the day, I end up learning more about engineering under him until it got to one point in time, the studio that I was working at the time, which was his studio, he got broken into, and we had to start from square root one again. I end up, like I said, and that's where it got to the point I started working at the underground. And that it led to the point where I kind of met up with Lil Baby from there. And then from there, kind of just like everything was just kind of like went up from there until I actually like left underground and started working at Lighthouse.
That's insane. It's insane for sure. Two things that you said that I thought were super interesting there was like, first, when you first started, it's just nothing like that hands-on experience. Like you can't really beat it. Like it's great to learn from like watching clips or this or that. You can teach yourself so much with the internet now, but it's nothing like that, like real hands-on experience where you just see somebody doing it, you grab them, and you're like, yo, I want to learn underneath you. I want to learn how to do this, that, and the third. The other thing too that you kind of spoke to was when you had decided to leave and then you kind of restart from square one. I watch that just crush people sometimes when like something happens and they got to start building it up from square one again or whatever. But when you got to build it up from that point again, I think it just makes you that much more of a beast. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thank you. But like sometimes I guess when it come down to it, because like nobody don't want to take the initiative action to actually like, just trying to start over another empire after you just created something from scratch and it was just from your hometown. Like sometimes it's kind of hard because at the end of the day, like I said, you're going to branch off to a whole nother city that you never even witnessed not a day to even like seem like you even want to even like step out for real. So like it just takes time. It takes patience for real. And then like you gotta have a lot of faith in yourself to actually just go out here and be able to and be the best you could be for real.
So true. But me and you could talk about whatever all day, but the people want to know how you and Baby clicked up in the beginning, of course. Like I said, me and you, we could talk all day.
Yeah.
But, so you were actually in the beginning, what you were saying you had called him and asked for a picture, like the very first time you guys ever met, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did that story kind of go?
Man, it was regular. It's like man.
And what's the year?
It was like a regular day. It was a regular day at the underground. Like I said, I was working at the underground at this little clothing store called Skills. I ended up was finna take a little smoke break real quick. I was just like, man, I got tired of being in the store that day. So I ended up stepping outside real quick, take a little smoke break, end up being on Instagram. While on Instagram, saw Lil Baby coming down. I ain't really got down, like, paid attention to know that was Lil Baby, but I was just like, that look like Baby.
Yeah.
That was
what
it.
year is this again?
Huh?
What year is this again?
It was like 2000, like 2004. It was like 2015, 14, 15-ish.
Crazy.
It was like, it was around this time. This was like probably like, this was 3 months. This was like probably like a couple months after he just got out of prison. I don't know. He had did something, but he had did a bid or something, but he had got out of prison. So from there at this time, he had only one song out, and that was the Money Is the Motive song. Money is the only fucking option. That one. I was banging. I remember got down just really just like, you know, being in going on the train to work every day, listening to that song, just really just, you know, getting emotion. So literally, back to the story, like I said, I was outside smoking a black and mild. Baby ended up coming down to meet up with the jeweler. Then he was coming upstairs. Man, I literally got down. I played a fan role, but at the end of the day, what else? I literally said, "Hey, you baby," and he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Bro, can we take a picture?" I literally got down, you know, came back down, took the picture. Man, to the day, this shit funny, cause goddamn, to the day, goddamn, every time I look at it, only thing I just keep on thinking myself, like, literally, like, just tell her, baby, hey, let's take a picture. And this shit funny.
Crazy.
Yeah, like he already had like the little small 4PF chain on and everything at the time. Oh, me, I had a little black and mild in my hand, but I think I threw it out or something. I don't know.
Whole different lifetime.
Oh yeah, for sure. So from there, I never, like I said, at the end of the day, I never asked them for any email to send beats off to, anything like that. I literally just stuck with the picture and he left. People, by the time I was coming back from work, a lot of people were like asking me like, "Yo, who that was?" Like people didn't even know that was Baby. I was like, "Damn, y'all didn't know that was Holmes." So I ain't say nothing after that. I was like, "Damn." So I guess certain people try to take a picture, but I don't know. I just knew I was happy that I had took a picture at the end of the day, because that was it. That's all just, you know, about. But I ain't knew from there on out what was the next, or like what's the next was going to be for me and bruh. And like over time, it was crazy because it's like I always had this like intuition, like if you've been like in a room more than 3 times, that means something. That means goddamn y'all gonna be doing work in the future for sure. So I end up meeting up with bruh at my partner Doughboy Raw at my Doughboy Raw house, and he ended up coming by to do a feature with him. And around this time he was doing the feature, he actually played us My Dog before he dropped it. And that was like the second time I met with him before we actually started working in the studio. So at this time he knew I was an engineer, but he knew me as like, you know, just a worker, you know, just all around working engineer at the time. So probably by like 2000, this would probably be 2015. My dog, no, you better say, yeah, 2015 going to 2016. This is after My Dog dropped. At this time, I was still working with, at this time, I was like I was kind of like in Mobile, and I was like kind of going back and forth from here in Mobile with Rylo. So like me and Rylo was working at the time, and then on top of that too, Baby started coming around, and like I was at Loud House. It was one regular day for real. Like I was at Loud House and everything, and they told me that, yo, we had a special guest coming, and I was like, y'all need me to engineer that session? They were like, yeah. I was like, okay. So I end up you know, getting all the room prepared and everything else, you know, lit the candle and everything, make sure that the room's straight.
Yeah.
Then everything happened. Baby come in the door. I was like, shit, what up, baby? You know, like, he knew who I was. Like, damn, that's him. What up, man? So we just end up, we end up locking in from there, from Lighthouse and everything. That's kind of like we kind of that's how we kind of let's say from shit, I think it was like Baby. It probably was his second, his third. It was probably like after the tape that he dropped with Merlo. That's when I came in as the engineer from there on out. It was like probably from the tape that he dropped My Dog Going Out. That's where I kind of come to play.
And it's been a wild ride, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. definitely has for sure.
What is like, I want to get into a couple like moments specifically and a couple projects and hear like the process between like different projects and stuff, but what is just a normal day in life for you at this point look like? Like, okay, you wake up, I'm sure what day it is doesn't matter, whether it's Sunday or Thursday or Friday or whatever, I'm sure it doesn't matter. What's like that the typical day in like the life of being the engineer for the biggest artist in the world?
Shoot, I ain't gonna lie to you. I really treat myself regular for real. Uh-huh. Like I really be like, I don't really be to the point where like try to goddamn like do the most or something. I just still do whatever, I still wake up, get to work, hit up, I still work with like, independent people. I still work with them at the end of the day, trying to work with the next thing, the next thing popping. Cause I like to be able to work with the next sound for it more than anything. So I mostly do that. And then on top of that too, I still be working with like, like other producers throughout the producers community. And then, like I said, once everything get done, like I said, I have whole family and everything else, and then sleep. So yeah, unless I get the call, be like, yo, we gotta get to the studio. Then hey, I'm going to the studio. No sleep.
That's what I was gonna say. It's funny that you whether you did it on purpose or by accident or subconsciously, sleep was definitely the last priority on the list for sure.
Yeah, for real. Like it definitely be last, cause like it'd be like it'd either be sleep or nap. Normally I get a lot of naps before I get sleep for real.
Yeah.
Like I probably only get sleep for real unless if it's unless it's like a little break or somewhat, then yeah. Other than that, there don't really be no breaks for real. We just be trying to go ahead and get it in, try to find out what the next thing popping for real.
Just keep it going. Going. But yeah, so we started off speaking on the record on So Much Fun, which was amazing. That's when me and you had originally linked up, but you were quick to remind me that it went into my turn mode right after that. So there was no type of like sit back and celebrate the placement or being on the album or anything like that.
For real.
My turn was he was already the artist, you know what I mean? But it was something that just propelled him even further than I think people even could have expected. But what was the overall process with that project like?
I feel like when it came on to my turn project was probably one of the most interesting projects that we're not really interesting, but like just more of just the timing we have to put on that project. Like from that and plus like just the style and the moves that we was in, like, cause like different times, like perfect example. From the time that we draw Roll to something to prove is kind of like two different stories right there. Sure. We literally dropped Woah. Now it's funny about Woah because like, bro, Woah wasn't even Woah. I wouldn't even expect it for Woah to be what it was. Cause like at first, before anything, it was just a straight going in. That's it. But then it got to one point in time where it's like we actually just like stopped for a moment and just said, man, we just need to think on and see what it is. But this shit was just so crazy. By the time goddamn we got back in the studio session, I'm gonna say it like it is. Baby said, bruh, we need to put Woah at the end of it. I was like, Woah, like, Woah. He was like, yeah. Okay, they'll go ahead and do it. So we end up goddamn finishing the song, and that's how Woah come. I'm not gonna cap you down. I never ever would have think, goddamn, that was the only word that we needed to finish that song and just to make that song fun to be what it is. Yeah. And just like from there, and the next thing happened, we had dropped Something to Prove. By the time we dropped Something to Prove, we was already on a different wave. That was like the first of the year before we actually dropped My Turn. Like we definitely was on a whole different wave from there on out after we had dropped Woah. So during the time too, we was actually, like I said, we were moving back and forth from studio. We were using different studios. We went to different places and everything. We end up starting the studio at his house, and we end up moving that around and everything else. Like we really was in different modes and different vibes from there. Like we end up recording at James Harden house on for the deluxe. Yeah. So it got to the and then on top of that with the whole coronavirus, the COVID scene and everything else, and like not trying to move around and everything, like it literally all of it kind of played a role in that project. And once it dropped, and then we came back around and actually dropped the deluxe with it, we just really wanted to show, bro. That we were still working no matter what, for real. Like we were working through snow. We was working through rain. We were gonna work through corona. We were gonna work through everything. We didn't matter. Like for real. Like we just knew at the end of the day that we wasn't done. We wasn't done. I mean, like I just knew. I mean, like even though at the end of the day, yeah, that we had a whole breakout, and it got to the point where like, just for music itself, we had to play a stop. We had to play the stop game. We had to play the stopping game. But nah, we literally just kept it going. If it came out to the end of the day, we couldn't drop it. We at least had the material ready at the end of the day. But just to be able to be the only album that actually went double platinum in I think it was like either 2019 or 2020. I think that was like the only album that went platinum in 2019. Shoot. It's just accomplishment at the end of the day, for real. That's all I can say. It's just all nothing but accomplishments.
It wasn't done at that point too, because it was easily one of the biggest deluxe projects. Like everybody and their mom has a deluxe now, but that was one that was like, it was like the whole project dropped again, basically. Yeah.
And then the thing about it was we only dropped only 6 songs.
Right.
And most of the songs was done at done at James Harden's house. Like Get Money song definitely was done at James Harden's house. But the thing about it was, see, I always reflect off of that song because the whole story in the beginning. With the Lamborghini trucks and everything, bro. I promise, man. I never get in the truck with goddamn with Drake. Boy, that nigga was going fast. I mean, boy, them Lamborghinis, boy, when I mean them things fast. My country would never, ever think about going in a Lamborghini truck, boy, for real.
Started flying. What was it like being around James Harden? Just such a huge star. Gosh, can he score the ball too? Oh my goodness. But what was it like just being around him and just recording in his crib and just kind of being exposed to that type of lifestyle? It's got to be rock star lifestyle.
I'll put it like this. I mean, being around James is like, it was a real inspiration for it. Because it's like, it was never expected. But then on top of that, when it came down to James was already big into music.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to do music himself, no matter what. Like for real. Like I remember I had to send him some beats at one point in time when I wasn't around, but it just like James being a big help when it came down to music. Like he always, like I know for sure, like it been certain times he always have his inputs of what he thinks when it came down to it, or what it feel like what sounds right. And shoot, I take every constructive criticism when it come down to it, because I ain't knew that at the end of the day. Yeah, I mean I knew he was good on the court, but musically, yeah. He's one of the musical geniuses off the court too. I tell you that.
And he was definitely involved when it came to the whole Voice of the Heroes project and process behind that project as well.
Mm-hmm. What's crazy was man, I would put like this. He like when it came down to the Voice of the Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
When it came down to like the Meek Mill project that had dropped, I would say James Harden got some good ear for it. He got something to do with both projects for sure at the end of the day. I know for sure when it came down to the Voice of the Heroes, when we started the Voice of the Heroes project, it was kind of like it was damn. We actually it was a regular session that we had at James. It was a regular session that we had at James with James Harden, like me, Meek, Durk, and Baby, and that's how I kind of heard about the Locations record. I never had recorded that record, but that was my first time even hearing that record and just knowing that they were all in. I was like, yo, that's crazy. So I'm thinking the whole time hearing that record that we finna have a continuous some more records with this going. But they ended up doing two more. Then it's like the whole time it was like Baby and Durk going back and forth for real. You know what I mean? So it got to the point where it got down sometimes we end up putting up where Durk be at, or they'll push up where we at, or we just end up sending songs back and forth, just trying to get the Voice of the Heroes project done. But at the end of the day, every bit of it, James Harden was there, and just kind of like getting a piece of it, just be able to just get his ear on the project,
Just a crazy project. Yeah, and I remember he was in the studio because salute to my guy, Touch the Trent. He actually had the intro on that project. He had hit me one day like, yo, you have any loops, da 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 da. So I sent him a bunch, and the next day it was a little snippet of them two in the studio, and James Harden was there in the Voice of the Heroes.
In the Voice of the Heroes
intro.
Yeah. What's crazy. We was in New York.
In New York, right?
Yeah, and it was in New York. And there was actually Josh, RP Josh, man. He had engineered that record.
Insane. That's crazy.
Yeah. I literally came to New York the day after they actually record that song. But the day after, it's crazy. The same time, I literally I ain't noticed that I had help. I have helped one of my little partners, Danny, from Russellville, Alabama. Danny had did the OK record on.
Yeah, DannyProdThis. Shout out my man Danny.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. Like I know for sure that I had placed a record for him, but I ain't knew it was that one. Like I literally went. I had Danny had to send me the video of them in the studio when they had played that record when I think it was Durk who had posted it. Durk had posted it and he had sent it to me. I was just like, that does sound like your beat. And I ended up going back to my to my hard drive and looked on the hard drive, looked in the folder and seen it that it was that beat. I was like, oh, my boy got one.
He got one too.
Shout out to my boy Danny, man, for real, man. He's
Yeah.
Russellville, Alabama. I see you, man.
Shout out my guy Danny, man. Me and him have had some good long talks where I just come out the other side like, damn, like it's making me think of shit differently. But I think he's gonna end up being one of them ones. Like he's got a lot of fire.
Yo, like I would tell you like it is. Like Danny is definitely one of the ones. Like I remember as a whole Danny was telling me about before he started before he even heard about me about collabing with me or anything. Like before anything, he was like he already had the doubts that he really did not thought about wanting to collab with me at first.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what made it, but he said, but I guess when JB had when one of my partners JB, shout out to my boy JB, he had I think it was either him or another, it was another producer, but they had told him about me and everything else. And I ain't say nothing. I just I worked with them and everything else. I mean, we got beats that we have collabed on, and I have passed them and I have been like getting them placed and everything else. But when it came down to it, I don't know. It was just like, shoot. When it came down to like a different sound for this project, I was able to get that from Danny. And every time when I told Danny, like, yo, I need this type of sound, I need this type of flow, he was able to send it every time. I was just like, shoot, it was nothing for me to be able to help him to get a project, at least. Me to be able to help him get on that project. At least if I wasn't gonna be able to get on it, shoot, somebody's gonna get on it for sure. That's just how I play it.
Yeah. And like you said, you're just doing your job at the end of the day. But I think the rest of us outside of you look at it as you doing a lot more than just your job. Like you're getting people life-changing placements that's going to change their life for forever and even their families' lives around them. But it is crazy that you look at it as just shit, I'm just doing my job for real.
Yeah, like, and I don't really be big to the point I just be like, bro, like I know, like I see it how it is like when I first got my first placement. And my first placement was, well, big placement wise, my first placement came from Quay. And this was around the time it was still around the same time while I was recording Baby. And I don't think people notice to this very day, because like it literally took me time for real to just to kind of like to get my feet wet in the music industry for real. But my first placement was Pure Cocaine on Street Gossip. And like from there, my next couple placements was more with Rylo Rodriguez and others. But other than that, people didn't know that I did Pure Cocaine. Like people didn't know that me and Quay did Pure Cocaine at the end of the day. But like when it came down to it, me and Quay just like the way that I was doing, the way I am with producers, it's just how Quay was with me. Like Quay just literally just put me over to the side and we just end up like chilling and talking, and we just end up making the beat. From there, just having fun. We ain't even expected that was gonna be Pure Cocaine. Like you just put the beat together. We end up loaded it up when Baby had put up to the studio. I probably had like 10 beats on the jump drive, and only one beat, it was just me and Quay. All the beats on there were just with Quay, but it was just only one with me and Quay. So he just ended up going through the beats, and that's the beat that he ended up picking.
All just the way that you done got it passed down to you, definitely passing it down, giving a lot of people a lot of opportunities. Let's speak to that a little bit. So at this point in time, everybody's trying to work with you guys in some way, shape, or form, creep their way in, figure out a little bit of a window or whatever. as far as people reaching out to you for collabs or trying to send you stuff for this or that or whatever, what's some of the things where it's like, okay, I like how so-and-so is moving. I'm going to fuck with this stuff, give it a chance, listen to it, whatever. And then what's a different way where someone might hit you about X, Y, or Z and you're like, bro, I'm damn near going to delete you from my email list. Like you're doing way too much.
Like, I'll put like this because, oh man. Okay.
Got a lot of examples for the bad ones.
Well, first thing foremost, okay. I always love to answer everybody's first question. First question is, how can I send beats to Baby? That must be the main one I get the most out of anything.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I only say 3, and I say the only thing I can tell you is, yo, I have 4 emails that I've have posted as on my Instagram for the last, I don't know how many weeks. But the thing about it is, at the end of the day, those are the emails that people go into that we got to go through to be able to make sure that these beats are right for Baby. The next thing happen, we got to go through another batch and go through another batch and go through another batch. At the end of the day, you have to, we human at the end of the day. So it's like, it's either we gonna like it or we're not gonna like it. And then on top of that too, goddamn, if we don't like it, keep trying. That's it.
Yeah.
People hate the keep trying part. Cause like you get to the point, goddamn, they just feel like at the end of the day that we hate something. It's like, bro, we don't know you to be able to hate something. It's just a certain style that we're looking for. That's it. You ain't got to get to the point where where emotions have to get involved in everything, bro. That's all I ask at the end of the day. And then on top of that too, like when it comes down to like spamming and everything else, bro, like I feel like things need to be like more like, just like on a human level for real. Like they just like being realistic. Like, okay, like I know for sure, yes, I could be able to help you. I could be able to help you out, and I could be able to help you out placement. Yes, I know for sure. But the question of the day is, where's your hustle? Where's your momentum? Where's your mind at? Like, yo, I don't want to be able to feel like that. I don't want to be able to feel like I'm giving you something, the next thing happen, you just run into it. You're just running from it. Like from there, I just feel like I just gave you a placement, and it's like it ain't like it ain't nothing to be like.
Right.
I earned this. You know what I mean? Like everybody else I be around, they actually earned it at the end of the day and more, instead of just like, oh yeah, I'm finna just try to goddamn, trying to make my, it just ways that people just, I don't know, it just be a lot of dumb ways that people try to do it. But it's like sometimes it just get annoying to the point where it's just like, man, you just like, it's not even like you don't want to help, but it's just more like it's better to be able to just step aside and just be able to show them the right way of actually to communicate with somebody. You know what I mean? It's just like how you get a job at the end of the day. Like you're gonna come up there and be like, hello, how you doing? I want to see what's all is needed for me to be able to get this job. Yep. Hey, how you doing? Mattazik, my name is Woah. I'm trying to see what is all is needed for me to be able to get this placement, like, or to be able to get a beast, or be able to get beast placed for Baby, like it little stuff like that. Like normally half the time people think that I'm an artist, and I'm nowhere near it.
Yeah.
Like for real, like you get to the point that you say, yo, I got some beats for you. And I'm literally trying, why you have beats for me? I'm a producer just like you.
It's weird because as you get like more, as you like move up, the like humility of it, people just start to like look at you as like a point between two objects and not like a person. It's really weird. But like after this interview, people will hit me and say, yo, I need you to send Mattazik this pack. And I'll look at it, I'll be like, what do you mean you need me to send it? Like, you gonna say, yo, do you mind? How are you doing? Like, people really just be straight, just asking for shit. But it's funny you said too, like, people hate the keep trying part. People hate the keep trying part.
That's all. Like, it's just like it's never no time for them to try. Like, it's just like I don't know. It's like it's just the attempt. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know, bro. But it's just like at the end of the day, it's certain things that need to change for real. I mean, it ain't gonna change now, but it just like soon down the line, it's gonna get to a point where it's like, okay, it's gonna be a realization for everything. Yeah. Like, okay, I know for sure most of the time I could go this way, but look, it's always the correct way to go for it. And then on top of that too, you always have to remember you have to be patient. Just be patient. Shit, like I know for sure I waited. I waited probably about a good 14. I ain't gonna say 14. I take that back. I'll probably say at least close to 10 years until I actually had me a shot. So it's like at the end of the day, you could wait too, or you could be patient too. You know what I mean? Like everybody gonna have a turn. If you're turning either, but sometimes for real too, I'm gonna tell you like what I did. I couldn't wait my turn. I just went on ahead and just went and go get it.
Yep.
So there's only two ways you can do it. Either you could wait your turn or you could just go out there and go get it. The choice is yours.
Choice is yours, definitely. And everything happens at the time that it's supposed to happen. And, everything like that too. It's an up and coming producer right now who might have sent you some bullshit that dug themselves in a hole. It's another one that might have waited until he was really sure and, made sure his stuff was quality before sending it through. But man, we appreciate it big time. I know how busy you are. Your phone's obviously blowing up these past couple minutes. I know you got to get it, but no, we appreciate it big time. A real legend in the space. The producer room powered by producer culture. Everyone make sure they like, comment, subscribe, comment who you want to see next. Who you think we should do next?
For me?
Yeah, who do you think should be the next interview?
Dude, I ain't gonna lie. Man, if it was somebody I know for sure, it was somebody, I don't know. Y'all ever talk to, let's see. Y'all did Turbo?
No, that's my guy. We got to do Turbo. We definitely got to do Turbo.
What about Chi in Section 8?
I've spoke to both of them about doing it. Chi, I think Tay suggested that Chi should have been the next one too. I'm definitely going to tap in with both of them and see if they're down, because that could be a cool one, right?
What about Twisted Genius?
Twisted Genius could be a crazy one too. So you lining it up for me. You make
now, we could now look now. Oh, now what about my boy Geno?
Geno would be crazy because I'm on record saying Rylo and NoCap are the best rappers of all time.
You know what? See, look, you know what's crazy? Because Geno probably could give you a better story than me when it comes down with Rock with that situation. Yeah. Because I'm gonna tell you like it is, and people don't know this. It's a real story. It's a real story gap that we have with this between me and him. And it's like I worked with Rylo from like this is like from probably like 2013 when he had dropped his first album, when he dropped his first mixtape. And it was all the way up to when Geno started working with Rylo, like actually forming his sound. So, hey Geno. Hey man, look, bro. Hey, I'm on the phone. Hold on real quick. Hey man, I'm on the phone with producer.